What my freaks, RuinusInsight here with part 16 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Tyrion Immortal Empire's expanded campaign. So as we saw last time, the Asur stand united, as at this point our convoys have reached the furthest portions or parts of the world and have brought the minor factions, the little enclaves and holdouts of the Asur, the colonies, back to the fold. And we are going to do our best to keep them around, as I think we'll do a better job of it than the AI will and while I did consider leaving them to the AI, I ultimately figured, why waste good battles on the AI? These isolated territories are going to have a much tougher time defending themselves than the how the heck is that thing floating? Interesting. Anyway, then our main territories will, and wow, this place looks completely different from the last time I saw it, huh? Yeah, last time I played on this map, this entire area looked very different. It's really cool now. We got lots of elevation changes, and oh, it's making me want to play around here again. Damn. Oh, well, interesting. Interesting. Anyway, let's see what we've got to do this turn still. As promised at the end of last episode, I did do the admin at the very least. So we're safe in that regard. Eataine, oh right, you know what? Eataine being at level 7, I think I'm actually going to delete her. We'll use somebody else to ferry stuff. So let's delete you, let's make another admin lord. Princess or prince, it doesn't really matter. Ideally, someone that generates additional ambush success chance. Yeah, you're probably not ambushing. Yeah, let's do you. Avalorous. Wait, do princes and princesses cost the same? No, princes are slightly cheaper than princesses. Oh, well then we'll take one of you. Let's go with observant, which, there's no negatives to this trait. Oh, interesting. Princes that don't cost influence don't have any negative aspects to their trait, but again, princes generally still seem inferior to princesses by a pretty wide margin. But anyway, I guess we'll go for observant. Alright, and we will use you to ferry stuff. You will be Tyrion, you will be Tyrion at home, you will be admin. In reality, a troop ferry, but, you know. Let's go for Regent of the... Nope, let's go for Inspiring Presence, Route Marcher, Dedication to Vol for the money. Merchant, Lord, Bonded Service, Draft Master, 3 points into Elven Scholar, leaving us with 2 points. 1 for Regent of the Kingdom. And, yes, funnily enough, we could have gotten nearly to the Renowned and Feared, or possibly if we wanted it to go through Bonded Service, but either way is fine. Let's go through Quartermaster to start. Lovely. And you can ferry stuff to wherever it is needed. The other thing that I wanted to do was, I noticed that if we take a look at the Mountains of Morn here, Bashiva's pretty much dead. She's got 1 settlement left, and it's not a capital settlement. And I don't like that. I've grown tremendously fond of Bashiva over the course of the of her campaign, and of course, Gandari, the Iron Tiger, who joined our community canon. Not every campaign has a lord join the community canon, so I always get attached to the lords that do achieve enough to make it there. So in that light, I feel like we should save her, and the logical thing to do is to get the Temple of Kamau to Bashiva, being a worshipper of Kamau and all of that. So we are going to have to try to do that somehow. Now, I don't necessarily want to give them Himmeranya just because we have military structures here and we can use them to recruit. So in that light, I think what we'll do is this. We'll go to Himmeranya ourselves. We will transfer them Zalamgar then. Like so. Alright, here. Bashiva the White Tiger, where are you here? I don't remember the name of this faction. It's not Whiskers of the White Tiger, is it? Because that would be funny, but I doubt that it is. I could just check, but I'm hoping that I find it in here. I probably went through it and messed it in. Claws of the White Tiger. Okay, it's not quite Whiskers, but it's actually reasonably close to that. Alright, Zalamgar is going to you. Alright, here. And I don't want money. Yeah, we get the relationship improvement. You only have... Wait. We can trade Vale of Titans, but that's your capital. I mean, it's not really your capital, but... Huh. That's interesting. Wait, so we can use this mod to forcibly switch the AI capitals? Oh, that's interesting. That is very interesting when the AI kind of screws over its own territories. Interesting. Yeah. Alright, so we'll do this. We'll give you Zalamgar for nothing. And this is one of the reasons I don't really mind using this mod, because I always end up giving a ton of territory away to the AIs. Anyway, you have Zalimgar. Hopefully you don't get immediately attacked. We can't hold this back until we get a proper army, so you're gonna need to, you know, get stuff. Alright. And hopefully by virtue of having this and eventually the Temple of Kamau, you will survive, and we will try to hold the enemy back here. Possible that the dwarfs may attack us as well, but frankly, that's true of all the dwarfs. Belagar are not super fond of us, even with all of our bonuses, and frankly, he is invading Athaloran as we speak. And I do think the Phoenix King would order us to march to the Azra's aid. But anyway. What else do we have to do this particular turn? I think all the heroes have moved. Is there any lords that still need to? Admin, you're waiting. Carthinia, you're a lord that is actually going to be an army, so you are fine. Actually, I think that's it. Alrighty, so I do believe we had 2 blurbs at the end of last episode. Oh, Phoenix Gate and Griffin Gate. Oh, and we also got Magritta. 3 blurbs. I lied. Unless there's more blurbs. Alright, well, there's blurbage to be done, and let's just say that, I do wish that it didn't freaking lag every time it went over a blurb, though. It is quite infuriating. But what can you do? Worth it. Phoenix Gate was well named, for over the course of its existence, it has been reduced to rubble and rebuilt on several occasions. Yet its garrison... I lost my place. Yet its garrison are little worried by this seemingly grim record. A great many of the Phoenix Gate's soldiers are drawn from the kingdom of Eataine, and they simply assume such woes to be part of Asuryan's ineffable plan. Should the enemy topple our walls, they say, then we shall simply build them higher and grander than before. And so they have, many times. Indeed, the towers of the Phoenix Gate now stand so tall that their spires are lost within the clouds that hang heavy about the Anuli Mountains. The stubborn pride in the face of disaster has become famous throughout Ulthuan. Despite this, few warriors from other realms seek out service upon the Phoenix Gate. It takes a very deliberate kind of madness to seek guardianship over a fortress whose walls seem almost predestined to fall. Now, the Griffin Gate... There we go. The Griffin Gate is the oldest of Ulthuan's great mountain fortresses. It is also held to be unlucky by those who serve within it, for it always seems that foes besiege the Griffin Gate long before they consider carrying their blades against its sister fortresses. Yet the Griffin Gate's defenders forgive their fortress its odd fortunes, for there is still honor to be earned upon its walls. Furthermore, there are few more glorious sights than when the first rays of sun strike the colossal golden statues that stand watch over the gate. To be present upon the walls of the Griffin Gate at sunrise, it is said, is to be reminded of the golden age of the elves and to know one's hope reborn. Perhaps this is why, despite many hundreds of sieges over thousands of years, the Griffin Gate has never once fallen to its attackers. It's like the opposite of Phoenix Gate. No matter how overmatched its defenders, the golden fortress of the Western Mountains has always held true. Soldiers of the Griffin Gate pride themselves on being as unblinkingly watchful as the creature from which their fortress takes its name. The Griffin itself can be found on all their banners and shields. The Griffin Gate is also the only fortress to include Shadow Warriors as part of its garrison. No one knows why this is so, for the Shadow Warriors remain silent if asked. Dun dun dun. Alrighty. Actually, I mean just... I see no Shadow Warriors here, game. Literally unplayable. Anyway, alrighty, let's see what we have here. The Southern Realms, Magritta, which we may or may not keep. I haven't decided. Mostly I just wanted the spices out of this, but we'll see. I also kind of was tempted to get this landmark and also fortify this place in the same way that we did Albion here, and just to have sort of fortified, maybe not quite island fortresses, but sort of fortresses that protect any approaches to Ulthuan and command the seas. But anyway, Magritta is the largest and one of the most important settlements in Estalia. Built by the natural deep water harbors within the sheltered Bay of Quietude, its reputation as a friendly port with ready markets for all manner of cargoes draws traders from many ports across the globe. Its quays are usually crowded, and among the assortment of old world or merchantmen, one can occasionally catch a glimpse of a strangely rigged craft from Araby or even further afield. Magritta's reputation is well deserved, for no pirates are tolerated here, and the Magrittans maintain a strong presence in the Southern Sea. They are fair, honest traders, and over the years have grown to be rich ones. The Bay of Quietude forms a natural fortress, and the Magritans control all the land thereabouts, including the bay's twin headlands, where two massive fortresses guard the approaches to the port and serve as its beacons. The merchants of Magritta trade goods from the north, as well as the natural produce of their lands, including silver from the Abasco Mountains to the east, while Curran and Bretonia is one of the larger markets for imported silks and spices. Their southern trade is deeply envied by the piratical Tilean states to the east, who fancy themselves as merchant adventurers, and there are frequent skirmishes between the rival cities. Makes me want to play Southern Realms. To protect the trade, the Magritans maintain a strong navy, often hiring northern ships and crews to fight alongside their own tireless galleons. Hostile shipping is mercilessly sunk, whilst pirates are hounded and captured whenever possible, and their crews brought back for public execution in the great marketplace. Ships from the rival states may be boarded, their cargoes inspected, quote-unquote, and frequently their captains obliged to sail into Magritta to trade their goods, thus swelling the city's trade and reducing that of its rivals. I suppose obliged should be with quotes as well. Alrighty. And was that the last of the blurbs, or... Oh, no, it is not. We still oh, right, we got the Lion Chariots, we got the Phoenix Guard, and that will, I believe, be the last of the blurbs. Alright. We know that we have a fight as soon as we end the turn, a big fight against the rats at the Star Tower here, wherein K-Drill the Hollow is besieging. Not all white lions are killed out of hand. The High Elves take no joy in needless slaughter and often stay their blades should cubs be discovered. These infants would doubtless become savage and deadly beasts if they were left in the wild, but with expert care the young white lions are raised to become as loyal as griffins. These tame white lions swiftly form a bond with the Kracian hunters that foster them and later serve their armies of Ulthuan as war lions. So do many of the Phoenix King's bodyguard ride to battle in lion chariots. Each of these white-timbered constructions is drawn by a pair of snarling war lions whose savage power is belied by their feline grace and elegantly plated manes. Whilst the Tyrannoc chariot might sweep across the battlefield carefully picking at the foe, a lion chariot of Krace charges headlong into the fray. As the war lions tear into the foe with fang and claw, the crew fight from their chariot platform, cleaving heads from their shoulders with every axe blow. Such daring charges have become the hallmark of the lion chariots, earning them a well-deserved reputation as the bane of even the most determined shield wall. Lovely. Well, now I have to charge them directly, instead of from the side. Where do we have here? Huh, I thought we read about the Phoenix Guard. Am I crazy? Let's see. No, okay, no, we must have read about the Keepers of the Flame, the Regiment of Renown. The Phoenix Guard are the guardians of the Shrine of Asuryan, the great pyramid temple in the Sea of Dreams. Deep within lies the Chamber of Days. On its ancient walls, it is said, are the histories of past, present, and future etched in the words of fire. Legend tells that any who behold that wall shall forever be cursed with the knowledge of their own death. The Phoenix Guard do not utter a word. It is forbidden for those who have seen the secrets of time to speak of them, and all who do so take a magical vow of silence from which they can never be released. Viewed by many as a curse, this vow is but part of a broader dedication that each Phoenix Guard makes to Asuryan, a covenant that fills the Creator God's chosen warriors with a portion of his almighty power. Thus do the Phoenix Guards benefit from divine protection that no sorcery or blade can easily breach, and know a sense of purpose that transcends their mortal origins. As the sworn warriors of Asuryan, the Phoenix Guard lie beyond the rule of nobles and princes. Only the Phoenix King, the vessel of Asuryan's will, can command them. Indeed, they often act as the king's personal emissaries upon the battlefield, taken by many elves as a sight that, even though the Phoenix King himself cannot be present at the battle, it is never far from his thoughts. When their lord orders them to war, the Phoenix Guard are grim and resolute, clad in ornate armor and armed with tall ceremonial halberds that can cleave a foe from top to tail in a single well-aimed blow. While their stony quiet is unnerving, their aura of godly might that surrounds them is far more horrifying. Their eyes blaze with a fiery intensity born of unshakable faith in the Creator God of the Elves, and the air around a regiment of Phoenix Guard can literally throbs with the raw power of Asuryan. Any who would stand in their way are assailed by an overwhelming sense of dread. Regiments of Phoenix Guard are always found where the fighting is fiercest and victory hardest won, for their gift allows them to see confluences and crux points upon the battlefield that lie hidden to mortal eyes. Each warrior knows his appointed hour of death, but none seek to delay that fatal moment. Whether battle brings victory or defeat, life or death, the Phoenix Guard fight on without fear. Alright, and that was, I do believe, it for the... for the blurbs. Yeah, I just had to double check. Alright. And where... oh, right, we built them up north. I was wondering, wait, where did I actually build the Phoenix Guard? And these guys were to replace the stuff that Tyrion currently has. He's been using pretty basic troops since the very start. Also,
noble born.
I was considering replacing the Handmaiden in his army with the exhilarated Lore Master of Hoeth. I mean, on the one hand, I'm sure the Handmaiden is still useful here. She does still provide the 10 reload skill to the ranged units, of which there will be 6.
Ready to serve.
It is still some, and these guys are probably nowhere near to the max reload time of 4 seconds. You know what? We'll pay attention. I don't know if it's worth it to have them over a caster, and we do want to replace a Vinola with a Fire Mage in this army. But anyway, for now, let us skip the rest of this, assuming that there are no garrison things. Let's end the turn, and let's fight some rats. And if I've forgotten anything, it's too late. Let's also hope that Nurgle doesn't take the opportunity to declare war on the claws, the whiskers of the White Tiger.
Speak freely. I am sure we will reach an accord.
Alright, that's the nicest I've ever heard an elf say anything to anyone. Miao Ying, still alive, eh? I'm not militarily aligning with you because I fear once again that'll weaken you, and we really would like access to Cathan units. At the very least, most of the units we want other than the war drums are relatively advanced, and oh! You're actually going to attempt this. Oh wait, we were discovered, but we can still attack their army. Sorry, Alana Grimgaze, you were about to get a whole lot grimmer. Alrighty, here we go. Last time this army fought, it had to deal with a minor settlement wherein we couldn't quite take the same kind of advantage of our chariots, but simply destroy the enemy behind the walls. Here, we can't quite rely on the same, but what we can rely upon is glorious charges and range fire from both chariots and Eagle Claw bolt throwers alike. The enemy is in the midst of a field, and we have essentially deployed on a slight hill to get that little bit of elevation advantage, and also to have this nice firing line down the center rather than having to fire over the over this little copse of trees here. Over on the right flank is where we have decided to deploy our chariots. Our Tyrannog chariots are going to fire into the Dark Riders, take a few of their number, but in reality are just going to ignore them and are going to head directly for the enemy range lines. Many a Dark Shard and just lots and lots of infantry in the enemy's ranks, and they've got to be destroyed. Why are the enemy's infantry at more or less full HP so far? Well, our own artillery has been in a bit of an artillery duel with the Reaper bolt throwers, and started by taking out their models. But now we'll switch to the enemy infantry fire while our chariots run them down. Our princess also closes the distance and pops off that fiery convocation. Phoenix and bolts alike flying through the enemy's ranks. And there we go, looking pretty good so far. The bounce power shifts to about 70% in our favor. The bolts now crashing down amongst all the enemy infantry. The enemy lord moving towards us, but gets hit with a Mathland Spite to slow her down, even as we switch both our princess and our handmaiden to fire upon the lord. By the looks of it, Mathland Spite does end, but the Lord is down to only 25% of her HP. Though, the Ice Blades, a regiment of renowned oblique swords, are now closing the distance. I kind of like their dual color scheme, and it's a little bit neon, but it's, I don't know, it's kind of nice with these sort of golden, sort of silver gray, whatever, metal that they have on their armor. But anyway, they've closed the distance, and they are not to be underestimated. The Ice Blades do have Murderous Prowess active now, and 77-73 melee attack and defense, 70 armor. It's going to take a bit to destroy them. Fortunately, once again for now, we do have Alariel's Treekin here, and they'll be able to hold the line. All the while, the Chariot Havoc as yet continues. Army is charioted for your pleasure, viewing pleasure. Anyway. And it does good work. The Crows of Khaine have been quite irritating in this particular battle, though they've been chasing around our army, and while the occasional crow does get brought down by Tyrion chariot fire, they have been doing a decent job at trying to tie us up. And just gotta try to get them to take a charge from our Thilmar chariots, which would annihilate them. Anyway, the nice thing about having lots and lots of chariots like this in combination with the Eagle Claw bolt throwers is effectively against heavily infantry armies. What happens is that the Eagle Claw bolt throwers keep sort of tossing units around, and the chariot charges do as well. By breaking all the units' formations, these two different unit types, as in breaking all the enemy formations, these two unit types work really nicely together because the chariots then can't get bogged down, as there isn't enough mass in one place on these infantry blobs, and the chariots can just continue riding around, sending everybody flying without being worried about getting knocked around. It's a pretty nice combination. I have used it before, but I'm very much liking it here with the High Elves. Anyway, by the looks of it, with that, the Dark Elven host is broken, and the battle is ours. A little bit of damage from the Ice Blades, but overall, nothing to be really concerned about. Alright, there we go again, and once again, the poor Dark Elves are getting absolutely obliterated by the Eagle Claw and Chariot army, though admittedly, in the players' hands, chariots tend to be a pretty obnoxious unit, especially against infantry-heavy armies. Obviously, against certain army archetypes, it wouldn't work anywhere near as well. And frankly, as this army encounters chaos later on, it's probably going to struggle a fair bit more. But nonetheless, it's been a pretty fun time. Admittedly, by then, we'll probably have a decent amount of exalted Tyrion chariots, and they will be able to slow the enemy down a fair bit, which will also be interesting. Anyway, for now, though, in terms of the Eagle Claws, looks like the last two with 16k apiece performed the best. And for the Tyrion chariots at 14k is the best, beating out both of the Thilmar chariots by doubling their damage. But once again, I still think that Tyrion chariots are better than a Thilmar. Now, granted, a Thilmar are better for charging through the enemies. They have higher HP, they deal more damage on the charge, they have glorious charge, whereas the Tyrion ones don't. But that's at the cost of all that extra range damage, and especially with buffs that the range damage gets, it's a pretty considerable amount that they're, losing out on. Plus, against units like trolls and things that your chariots wouldn't normally be able to fight against, like the Thilmar chariots would be useless against them, the Tyrion chariots can just kill them from range. So yeah, there is that. Anyway, we are taking the money. Certainly earned it here. Poor Dark Elves. Confederation between Tormentors and Loish's Indulgence. Oh my. The Tormentors might have actually moved up to Strength Rank 3 with that one. They are going to be a major thorn in our side on that side of the world. Military alliance with Karl. Not yet, buddy, not yet. Wait until the situation with the Wood Elves is cleared up, or at least until we have enough influence to make you guys all friendly with each other, and then we'll deal with it. You Hunts Marshal. I'm gonna keep you at arm's distance because we don't want to piss off Mazda Mundi. I'd rather have lizard allies than these guys. Elspeth. Clan Verms. Are you telling me this is this? Wait, I don't remember where Verms is on this map. Wait, aren't they out here actually? Or is that Clan Vulcan? Damn it. Okay, well there's somewhere. I'm just gonna ignore this. I'm sure we'll find out. That I was somewhat not expecting, but I'm pleasantly surprised to see it. Because the ambush failed and they attacked us anyway. Huh, Go figure. Though funnily enough, that's a lot of night goblins here, and these spinning loons do way more damage than black orcs or biggins do. And forest goblins in SFO are devastating thanks to that lethal poison. If they are able to stay in battle, they will mess you up, man. And yeah, we have to be careful. I have a healthy respect for the super high damage that can come out of a goblin host, and I'm much more respectful of their damage than I am of orky focused hosts, at the very least non-savage orky. But anyway, Coral, you about to have some fun, bud? Go. Oh wow, I was a little bit concerned about the enemies here, but I did not realize that we would have a choke point battle. They're screwed. They're completely screwed. Admittedly, the spinning loons are still going to be an issue when the goblin fanatics do close the distance, but also it's a really nice choke point. Got some neat Bretonnian architecture here. I'll take a look at it. While our Eagle Claw bolt throwers fire away at the enemy, but with our bolt thrower army, sort of, we've seen that a lot. Interesting that they have windows in every single thing here. I would have expected some, well, not actual glass pane filled windows in every single location. Kind of interesting, especially below the bridge. That surprises me the most, or perhaps somebody didn't think that one through. Would have expected more like arrow slit-like windows there, but I guess glass is being pretty widely mass-produced, so it doesn't really matter. Though at the same time, the river goes high. I don't know if that glass is going to, if medieval glass-making technology is going to be enough to not have that break. Now, on the other hand, the river has these relatively shallow fords, so perhaps it doesn't matter. Anyway, I really like this. I really like this map. This thing is really neat, and the with the tower in the center and everything, or the citadel, or whatever you want to call this. I love it. Anyway, in the meantime, the battle should begin, so I'm just going to speed this up. We've been irritating the enemy army as best we can with our Eagle Claw bolt throwers, but frankly, the enemy army was waiting for their reinforcements to arrive, and in this particular case, I decided to wait, as we have a good position up on the bridge, and there is no need to leave it, as the enemy has to move towards us or just continue to suffer range fire. Now, it looks like the enemy archers have moved forward and are firing away at our pure main company, some of which have arrows sticking out of their necks and chests. But on the bright side, those arrows have not yet done too much damage. One, they have 100 armor and 40% missile resistance. And two, we now put them behind and intersperse them amongst the units of shielded Silverin Guard, who will hopefully absorb most of the arrow fire. What are you doing, artillery? Good lord. Yeah, this is why you don't let your artillery pieces auto-fire. They'll fire through your own ranks like a bunch of idiots. Great. But it is what it is. Anyway, so far, at least until this moment, all of our fast movers were hidden over on the left flank, 2 and 2 of the Exalted Illyrian Reavers and War Lions here, and then the same 2 and 2 right here. The idea being to funnel most of the enemy units towards where the bridge is, so that we can go after the enemy range units. It does look like the Giant is attempting to move around us, and we'll take the advantage and have the Eagles surround and kill it, while the fast movers get ready to ride out in the same manner as these. And here we go. Illyrian Reavers going to crash through the ranks of enemy Goblin Archers, hopefully not too much damage from our own artillery fire. They'll ride through and prevent the enemy from firing, and then we'll leave the bleed causing War Lions in the fight to make sure that they shatter while we move on to the next unit with the higher mass cavalry. Granted, not super high mass, because these are only Reavers, but still good enough for our purposes. Anyway, those charges completely annihilate 3, 4, 5 units of enemy archers of various kinds. The enemy Giant has been caught by our Eagles and now surrounded by a unit of anti-large Illyrian Reavers, as well as a unit of War Lions. Between all 4 of these, the Giant should fall in reasonably quick order, and we'll be able to move to reinforce. alike. So, and in the meantime, of course, while the cavalry are going completely, I don't know, just obliterating everything that they come into contact with, the Silvern Guard are still holding the line against the main enemy blob, who does outnumber them by a fair bit. Luckily, we switched to single shot rather than multi-shot on our artillery pieces and fire over the heads of the Silvern Guard and into the trolls, boar boys, and whatever other units. And of course, we have Corhill together with his pure main company here. Their great axes hewing orcs and gobs alike, and boars, I suppose, and trolls. It makes no difference. They should all fall beneath those axes. The bounce power has shifted to about 90% in our favor at this point. The bridge is still being held. We've touched our Mist Mage down upon the enemy just to apply a little bit of extra bleed, since he does have that. The enemy's backline has now completely collapsed under charges, and with the backline gone, we're able to reinforce the Silvern Guard by having the Illyrian Reavers close the distance and trap all the enemies. Now it's just a matter of time as we cut the rest of them down. And there we go. With that, the Orc host shatters, and the battle is ours. A very nice fight, but we had an absolute terrain advantage here. And oh, wow, I didn't even notice the rest of the Bretonnian stuff back here. That's some good stuff. Yeah. Always gotta remember to take a good look around at the maps. The game is beautiful after all. Oh, how I wish for a modern remake of the Age of Reckoning, Warhammer Fantasy MMO. I had so much fun with that, and yes, I'm aware that there is a sort of a private version of it, but I want like an actual modern remake with all the stuff. But maybe with the renewed popularity, with the old world restarting, and with the cash cow that Total Warhammer has been for CA, who knows? Someday, maybe we'll see another old world RPG. I'd take an RPG. It doesn't have to be an MMO, just something. Anyway. Oh, good lord. The Lions and the Exalted Illyrian Reavers did absolutely magnificent work against the Gobs. 627 kills on this unit and 53,000 damage. I've never had an Illyrian Reaver unit do this well. That was obnoxiously good. 41k damage in the next best performing one. These two were dealing with other stuff, though, as I recall. One of them was the one that went after the Giant, so naturally it didn't get as many kills as it participated later in the battle. And I don't remember what the other one did, but it was, I think, keeping the other ones off of the other enemy units off the back of the Giant, or rather preventing them from aiding the Giant. And same with this unit of dogs, which also went after the Giant, or dogs, and war lions, you know what I mean. I'm gonna get it eaten for that one, but anyway, 489 kills and 22k damage in the best performing unit of war lions as well. Very nice. The Silvern Guard held the line as they're supposed to do, while the pure main company and did the damage, and with Corhill at the helm. I love it. Absolutely love it. We will continue taking the money, I guess. Ooh, wait, we're not in our own territory. We are technically still healing in enemy or are we? No, wait, this is I don't know. You know what, let's just in case, let's just heal up. Because we'll want to besiege the massive Horkel next. And this I cannot deny.
Well met.
But a great battle. Enchantress, you want a military alliance? No military alliances right now, we're busy. And I did not remember the, oh right, oh poor little, excuse me? Why would, excuse me? Are you, is this game, are you serious, game? What is this? Why? We have spears. Why would the one noble, what could possibly, okay, manually fight this really quick. Game is being silly today. Gonna be one of those days, I guess. Absolutely ridiculous. Just, and it's an ambush too. Absolutely freaking ridiculous. Okay, well, some of them might escape, to be perfectly frank. I'm just gonna max speed through this. Let's see. Let's set up all of you all of you to target the Lord. Like so. Then the flyers here. Arathon, you're a flyer as well. I guess you can target the Lord as well, technically speaking. You want to go in there and try to die there, buddy? I don't know. Either way. Let's do it. Start, and... Okay, you can be group 1, 2, 3. Group up, group 4. You are all good, I think, minus you. Need to target the Lord, so you need to... Yeah, there we go. You don't have 360-degree firing arc. Alright, I believe that's all we gotta do. Start. Yeah, start. 4. 2, 3. Kill everything. There we go. Lord's down to half HP. And now we just gotta make sure that we land and then none of the enemies can escape. Alright, the Lord is going to move into the blob of units, but he'll break rather quickly. We'll probably do a little bit of friendly fire, but the enemy army should die rather quick. With the Lord running, hopefully nobody wastes their time chasing him around. Speed it up to max. Yeah, go figure. Victory. Freaking auto-resolve, man. It just... Oh, it's obnoxious. Anyway, speed up to max. If you guys could keep following him and kill him, that would be just swovely. And turn. Kill him. Thank you. And you guys stop firing. You're just going to kill all of our own guys. Alright, and is that the Beast of Tashnar? No, it's Kurgan Horse Champions. I'm pretty sure they're all dead. Yeah, 1 lost, and I'm willing to bet, yep, 0 kills on the enemy. It was just friendly fire from one of our range units. Unbelievable. Hopefully that will have leveled the Noble up to get the Eagle mount. In theory, the auto-resolve should then treat him the same as the other Eagle units and shouldn't kill him off. Although I shouldn't say things like that because the game's going to make me look like a fool and start killing him off anyway, but we'll see. Also wanted some Hawk Riders in this army. Just gotta get those Wood Elves outposts built. I built the outposts with there was a little Wood Elf faction that we allied with. I don't remember what their name was, but I think I did. I think I can. Anyway, ransom captives.
Give them only a warning this time.
And I do wonder if Wulfric the Wanderer has come back around this way. More important... Oh, right. I forgot about this. This is not a walled settlement, is it? Yeah, no, it's probably not worth fighting. Too many Medusa and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm just gonna let this go. I was going to trade this away to the lizards and then I forgot to do it, unfortunately. Although, if they take... No, don't sack it. I wanted you to take it, you useless Dark Elves. I wanted them to take it so I could then trade the Morakot and then have them peace out with them to eventually hopefully fix our relationship with them. Non-aggression pact with the Tomb Kings. I mean, I guess we could do a non-aggression pact with them. How does Zhao Ming feel about them? Not great, but not horrifically bad. Wait, how do the Dark Elves feel about them? Not great, but not horrifically bad. That's just everybody about the Tomb Kings, I guess. Alright, fine. I'll do the non-aggression pact for now. We will take your tiny amount of money. Everything you get is free anyway. Guests of the Raja. I'm going to say no for now, because if these dwarfs, whoever they are, attack us... Dim Sons will attack the western provinces, sure. If those dwarfs attack us, what'll happen is the guest of the Raja will hate us for fighting those dwarfs. Lotus Yakshi. Who are now under siege by Marrow Muncher Crad Suntana's kid. Marrow Muncher Crad Suntan's kid. The Suntan's kid? Oh, I get it. That's funny. But anyway, That's good. It's pretty good. Now worried that these guys are gonna die, because their garrison, as I recall, was not that mighty. You want us to join war against the Storm Raven? No. And Convoy. Ain't gonna do anything? What is this? Lose 10 influence or lose 200 cargo? Not giving you any influence, that's for sure. As it turned out, on your ship there are goods that are prohibited from sale in this port, but it's too late to turn back. Local guards are already aboard from the rowboat to inspect the cargo. Although this is... Screw it's just 10 influence. Threaten them. This ship's is under protection of the Phoenix King. Confederation. You didn't attack? You cowardly rats. You have a tier 5 garrison with, like, everything. Death Runners, doom wheels. What do you want? Jerk faces. You're just gonna die so easily in a siege battle. Whatever. Confederation ally begins outpost construction. Enemy killed in battle aplenty. Ambush foiled. Competent protector. Creator. Seafarer. Favor the Phoenix King. Defeat? What defeat? Oh, right. Oh, this counts off of Ulthuan? How dare you? See, this is why you die in the end times. Anyway, settlement... Well, I mean, technically everybody does. Well, almost... Not everybody, but shut up. Anyway, settlement sacked. Kingdom of Bretonnia, Gisoro, Lyonnaise. Ready for duty. I'm actually liking the fact that we're getting the blurbs about some of the Bretonnian territories we take just because we played Bretonnia without this mod, and... Hello. Hello, Malice's Dark Elves. Gilgallion is ready for duty. Leia Quinn, the 60,000th, is ready for duty as well. And we got the Obligations of Nobility. This we don't really care about yet. We will, but not yet. Frostheart Phoenix, good. And it looks like Highborn Champions is coming in soon. Good. How many of the 15 per turn? Okay, so we should be able to go for one of these next turn. Now, importantly, let's go to Gaian Vale. Why Gaian Vale? Just because it's the first one I selected. Gilgallion on the map. Do you have any items or ancillaries? Just a Herald of Mathland. Alright, then Gilgallion is currently occupying the Safri patronage. We will give this, at least for now, to Mr. Billionaire the Wise. Transfer patronage. You can only do this once per turn. That's all I was intending to. Then we'll go 1, 2. Good. Now you have Safri patronage. This buffs your Lore Masters, Mist Mages, Mages, Swords Masters, and cooldown for spells. Most likely we'll give this to Teclis afterwards, but we'll see. I want to compare Teclis's capabilities with Bellinaire's capabilities, and, you know, depends on the units in the army, and there's a number of considerations, let's say. Then, we still want Cathik in order to be able to confederate the Order of Lore Masters. We're leaving High Elf Sea Patrol, we're leaving Yvresse, we're leaving Nagaroth, and we're leaving Knights of Calador, but brothers probably should be united. Should we give him a chance to attack Kairos? Or should we let him float out here? He's gonna die if he tries. We know he's gonna die. I think we can all agree on him being an idiot. At the hands of the AI. I think this war will go on eternally unless we, the player, deal with it. I know, you used to be at... free Blade of Seagold. You used to be at a full stack. Now, you are not. Alright. And, you're still fighting the undead here. That's been a bit of an eternal war. Oh. Did you guys survive, or did you get sacked? Oh, it looks like they survived. Oh. Or did they get sacked? What the heck? Their entire garrison died, but I don't see anything being super damaged here. Something interesting happened here. Actually, this might be enough to wipe them out without a garrison. Oh no. Oh, don't you dare, ogres. This is the only Wood Elf unit that we have access to. At least at this current time. We gotta get some magical forests and transfer them to the other Wood Elves. Also, how are we doing out here? Oh wow, Itza. That. Advancing with many a lord. Skulltaker's on the run. And just by himself, too. Anyway, I guess we're gonna use all the influence now to take the patronage of Cathik. Now, this was going to go to a specific lord, but I don't have that lord yet. So until we do, we just give it to somebody, unless... Nope, Prescient and Entrepreneur. I guess we'll give it to Sarah, then.
I serve the Phoenix King.
Or Melwyn, maybe? Melwyn's also a Sea Helm. You have Misty, though. I don't think that works with what we wanted to do. Alright, fine. Actually, speaking of Melwyn, you're gonna come down here to transfer these to Annalise, who I guess will stay here for one more turn and heal. Wait, how much does she heal in the sea?
We go.
Not that much, at the very least without a noble. Noble still has to be delivered as well. Alright, fair enough. Also, we just fought. Let's do one of the blurbs, since we got a bunch. Then we'll do some stuff, like fighting and building and whatnot. And yada yada. Spread stuff out. Alright. The Kingdom Bretonnia Gisoro. The Kingdom of Gisoro is a founding dukedom that lies within the treacherous slopes of the Pale Sisters and upon the low woodlands of the Arden Forest. Unlike in other parts of Bretonnia, where much of the land is either one type of landscape and of one type of people, the diversity in geography of this dukedom has also created a diversity in cultures and customs. Those living within the arable plains to the south contain the typical farmers and peasants that is universal within all the realms. To the east, the lands are filled with harsh woodlands where different people live life as expert trappers and wild woodsmen. Finally, to the north, those people that can eke out a living within the Pale Sisters are seasoned mountaineers who can brave harsh conditions. The dukedom also contains the Gisoro Gap, one of only three locations within the entire Grey Mountains that allow passage between Bretonnia and the Empire. The current ruler is Duke Hagen. Alright. Really? You really need to be trespassing in elven territory there, dwarf? Do you? Is this wise? I guess they're short-lived species, so, you know, they can't expect wisdom from a dwarf. Dowie enjoyers, I'm sorry, but I had to. Anyway, let's see. Yorian, you were supposed to go here, and aha! Wolfric has returned to the monolith of Bjorkel Bloodyhand because a rather nice army. I would like Nashanra to still land and go this way. You need to get the rest of your troops from Arathon, and then you two will be able to separate from each other. And I started moving everybody out of order because I'm an idiot, but too late. Anyway, go down here. The other thing that we want to do is, I guess we can use the recruitment here. Okay, first of all, let's build these. Oh, wow, 800 and 525. What is with the expense? Oh, you're in Banished Corruption. I see. Well then. Switch to Rebuild Lost Splendor for now. Cancel this, we'll speed it up. I would like to build... Actually, wait. Would it be faster? Yeah, it would be faster, I think. Alright. So, Kievan... Oh, we can only transfer patronage once per turn. I was gonna have somebody else to take over the recruitment for a bit because we can get somebody with Renowned and Fear to get the additional recruit ranks. Nah, whatever, we'll just keep using Kievan. Now, first of all, Champion of Ulthuan. Lead by experience. Use it again on Kievan while he still has all those troops. To A, keep him recruiting, and B, level everybody up by 1, including getting everybody up to rank 7. Then, Admin Antheus and Admin Tyrion. So you... Wait, no, not you. Kurthinia. Root Marcher. Root Marcher and... Not an herbalist, but a Herald of Mathan. Huh. I don't remember having so many herbalists. I think these are just transfers. Let's take this away from you, and let's take this away from you. We will have our own uses for those herbalists. 2 shrine attendants. That's nice. Raven Keepers. I'm just now checking if there's any other rare ancillaries that we might have gotten from Confederation that we might want to... Hello. Dragon Armor. This is on Annalise, eh? That's quite nice indeed. I guess... Wait, is this our Annalise or is it a different Annalise? You know what? I'm going to take this just because I don't trust it, and then maybe we'll give it back to you. Court Attendant. Ambush success chance for Tech Thief. But it also gives the hero action success chance, so I think we'll keep that for now. Bard, we got 2 Banners of Illyrian and a second Advisor to the King, which is nice. We got to actually give that to somebody. War banners, etc, etc, etc. These are going for specific armies once they're up and running, so we're going to ignore those. Actually, the Banner of the World Dragon wasn't really assigned to anything specific, but I wanted to stack spell resistance up over 100 on somebody just because I can, so that's probably what we're going to do. Anyway, Kurthinia. Go to Kievan. Grab all 4 of the lions and all of these Exalted Illyrian Reavers. They are for you. The rest of the stuff is going into 2 different directions. So you're going to take this, and you're going to start traveling this way. You will give the Warline Chariots to Mr. Corel. You, new prince, over at Tor Corali. Because you're cheaper than princesses, let's go with... Oh, but one thing I noticed, that the princesses have a character experience gain. Maybe that makes them more worth it. That's an interesting consideration, isn't it? I will continue considering it. Anyway, we'll get the dullard. Dullard.
What would you have?
Alright, and you will take off your mount. We will get the Regent of the Kingdom, Inspiring Presence, Route Marcher, Dedication to Vol, Merchant Lord, oh. Well, still a little bit of reductions. Draft Master and then 2 points into Elven Scholar, unless I'm mistaken. Like so. And then while you're here, you are going to recruit 1, 2, 3, 4... I think it's 4 White Lions for now. I'm also wondering... Wait. Let's check the Cathay and stuff. Jade Court. No Celestial Lions for Coral, unfortunately. We do have the Tiger Warriors Stalkers and the Tiger Warriors, so we could get Coral some Tiger Warriors. I wanted him to have a couple of northern provinces. Okay, well, let's go to Jade Court then. Well, let's get some Tiger Warrior Stalkers rather than the regular Tiger Warriors. Why? Because we have easy access to bleed already. And these guys... Yeah, with them causing bleed, we can get the same thing out of the Warline and Warline Chariots, meaning... or Lion Chariots. Meaning they wouldn't be quite as valuable to us here. So yeah, let's go Tiger Warrior Stalkers. Frankly, in that particular army, I think we're going to be happier replacing the Stalkers with the... I forget what they're called, but the ones that have Guandao weapons, just because they're anti-large. But we'll see. I wouldn't mind having some Tiger Warrior Stalkers, and we still don't have allies with Kislev. Yeah, game, please. Kislev? I scored minus 2.9. What are you doing over there? We're plus 118. Okay, we could ally with the Great Orthodoxy for... Just do it. Just freaking do it. Alright. I want those snow leopards. And let's build this in Castle Alexandrina. Oh. Well, it will have access to snow leopards and frost worms, which are the main things I want from the roster. I mean, I wouldn't mind a few Ice Guard in theory. The frostbite on their arrows would not be too bad. I just figured Castle Alexandrina because it's walled, and oh, we can actually do Erengrad? You know what? Let me just see here. Erengrad is more poorly defended, and I would really prefer them not to lose it now, so I think we will go for Erengrad then. Wait, does this guy have no allies? How does nobody... No, he's allied with the Ice Court, they just didn't build anything in Erengrad. Huh, go figure. Alright, well, we'll done Kastaltin either way, because he has Erengrad and Prague. Although Prague might not be the best place to hold. Anyway, let's see what we have here. 3 trolls, 1 giant and a Ragnarok, 2 black orcs, 2 biggins, 4 orc boar boy biggins. That's going to be a devastatingly difficult fight for you. And you are going to fight it. We'll let them sally out. They will obviously sally out. Though funnily enough, we'd have a lot of an easier time in the siege because we could just empty our Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers weapon cartridges, ammunition. But we won't. We'll let them sally. Come out and play. Alrighty, and what do you got that we want? Lion Mane, I think the bonus versus large could be quite nice here, and it's not like you have a crazy amount of HP. Though funnily enough, Grizzled Veteran would be better if you were on your War Lion Chariot. Maybe on occasion we'll put him on the Chariot just for fun. Maybe depending on the particular battle. Let's go with that. I'll think about it. Also, just to double check, Attribute Vanguard deployment. I take it that's for Corhill himself, not for the entire army. Why was the entire army able to Vanguard deploy in the previous fight then? I don't remember. Not that I'm complaining, but odd. Anyway, Military Convoys, you are rank 8. You leveled up already previously? Yes, okay, so just had to double check, and then both convoys, 4 more turns. Okay, so quite the while. Let's go to Patrons of the Realms. Kathik, we will take the patronage from you. If I can find Sarah... Oh, wow, okay, that was unlikely. Immediately found Sarah. I hope that this is the right Sarah, and there isn't, like, another Sarah somewhere, but, we'll give it to you for now. That's going to have to go to a different guy, but I want this patronage. And 1, and 2. That takes all of our influence away, but it completes the... Thing of Kathik and allows us to do the last confederation of the campaign, which is the Order of Lore Masters. Teclis, join your brother. There we go. Dawn's Landing is secured. The one... At least all of the confederations that we had have very little territory. Plus, we're kind of at the point where... You don't need this. We're kind of at the... I always interrupt myself. Which I say while interrupting myself. Ooh! Is that a fire mage? An incendiary fire mage? Oh. Techless. Is it Tyrion's birthday? I think it's his birthday. We are sending Tilly all the way to Tyrion. This is just perfection. This is exactly what I wanted. I feared that we would not get one of these for a long time. Oh wow, those are nicely leveled sky cutters. You can't move, unfortunately. Go into encamp. Try not to die here. Lose your items just in case you do. Maybe not the Peril to Mathline. Grab the Crackling Potency. And you're an administrator, so that's good, but it's not what we need. And then buff Gehenna's Golden Hands, just in case you have to fight. These will be put to use. You have a Mist Mage. Now, Protected Mist Mage isn't too bad. The massive amount of missile resistance, actually, I like that, so we're probably going to keep you as well. I would like to see if you have any items. You do not. Another Ardent Prince. Wow, Techless. I should have gone after you sooner, buddy. You got some good stuff. Your own army is absolute garbage, but you got some good stuff. Go into the Fortress of Dawn, please. Yeah, he was going to die. I think we can all. Agree on that one. He had no chance against Kairos here. Now, Techless. You give Mastery of the Elemental, you have Ward Save for Phoenixes, you have Recruitment Cost Reduction for Swords Masters. Glamour of Hoeth, Magical Reserves, Master of the Order, Ward Save for Mages and Lore Masters. Faction-wide, this is all faction-wide. Chain Lightning, Master Strategist, yeah, we can give you a couple of Swords Masters, that's fine. Wow. I still think the AI completely screwed your tree, but may not necessarily be in need of a reset. Potion of Karoy is later on. Great Time Negation. None of this buffs anybody in your army. Huh. I think I was then probably right to give the... Since he doesn't buff Swords Masters in any way, just their recruitment cost reduction, not their upkeep reduction, unless his items do something for them. God, he has a lot of items. Recruitment for mage, hero capacity for mages, upkeep reduction for army generally speaking. Yeah, nothing. He has a minus 25% cooldown to spells from the Scroll of Hoeth, so if we were to switch him to Safari, we could get him a minus 55 cooldown to spells. What of his what spells does he have that we would want to spam constantly? I mean, his cheap regrowth is nice. I don't know that his his Chain Lightning is all that cheap. His Flock of Doom remains quite expensive. I don't think he can actually make good use of that massive cooldown reduction, though admittedly, repeatedly casting super cheap spells would allow him to keep the 8 million passives up and running. So there is that. Oh, when's a magic cost reduction? But yeah, I think since we're putting way more of the Swords Masters into Belinair's army, maybe it's better that we keep this on Belinair. And at least this way it makes Belinair a stronger lord as well. Because Techless is already a very strong lord. And Techless, can you build Phoenixes here? You cannot by the looks of it. Can't build Swords Masters either, but we'll collect some units together and then we'll probably globally recruit some stuff. You don't have recruitment bonuses, do you? No, you have Militia Master. I wish you weren't level 5, but there's no way we're not keeping an Ardent Princess. We can send you out to sea as well. Now, though funnily enough, at this point in the game, the upkeep reduction doesn't really matter nearly as much. Although we are about to get a lot more expensive troops. Anyway, I digress. Let us, I guess, wipe these ogres out. We probably want to advance to Rakto Gorge while Henner Mara besieges the Altar of Ultimate Darkness. And like so. Which does have a decent garrison that will most likely sally out. Alright, besiege. You've been doing great work killing Druki, and it ain't ending yet. Darken the skies, please, as you do. And Miss Mage, let's level you as well. Literally any spell or Ladriel's Shroud specifically so that you can heal with it. I would like you to be able to cast more than the 2 spells, so let's get Flensing Har and then we'll get Ladriel's Shroud after. Now, I am somewhat concerned by Valkia moving down here. Nagaron can defend itself, though. I feel like she's going to declare war on us. She's not super friendly with Harganeth, though. Oh, she does have another stack pressing them. And another... No, that's not a full stack. Okay. You will need to deliver stuff. I'm going to say let's get another prince to deliver them, or princess. Another dullard or whatever. Poltroon. Sure, why not? You will make the delivery. Sarah can keep recruiting.
Defender of the Asur.
Yeah, Defender of the Asur. Word Marcher, Inspiring Presence, Regent of the Kingdom, dedicated to Vol, Merchant Lord, Bonded Services, Draft Master, and Elven Scholar. More Elven Scholars. We just need to get to 600 research rate. That's all we need. And if we get there, the rest of the techs will all be 1 turn, and then we'll be happy. So we don't have to have a million tech thieves. And since it's been taking a while to get there, I think it's reasonably balanced. Anyway, this all has to be delivered to Hennermar and will be next turn. Sarah, you do have... Oh, right, you can't gain additional XP. And we'll also need to reset you. Eventually. Alright, fair enough. Will we need to recruit anything else with you? I mean, if we have you lead an army, we probably will, but for now I think you're okay. Alright, so then, let's do this. Let's have you go here. We'll declare war and kill these ogres. And they don't hate us, but... Minus 20. Yeah, see, here's the problem. They're raiding us, right? And they will keep raiding us, which will keep making Nagaroth hate them, which will eventually lead Nagaroth to attacking them, meaning there's no point in keeping them around. Sad though it may be. Kill, Marrow, Muncher, whatever. Wait, are you allied with anybody? You are not. Kill, Marrow, Muncher, Mag, Roast Chewer.
No good meat there.
Like so. He didn't run? Huh, maybe he was completely blocked off. Auto-resolve. It's better not severely damage anybody. 10 losses? No, we're okay. Go for ransom captives. Then, I would like you to... March stands here and reinforce.
We march.
Like so. Tyrion.
Of the Everqueen.
Kill Bull Nobbler Eater. It's not how you spell Nobbler, but they probably misspell a lot of stuff anyway. That's in the ogres. Auto-resolve this.
I am ready.
And then pick up the ransom captives. And hey, free a ranger's quiver. I certainly don't mind. Alrighty, and Aldred's Casket of Sorcery. I like that. We were going for an anti-magic army, and this will certainly be put to use. And a Cloak of Beards, yes. This will come in handy against Belagar, because it amuses me. Gotta collect those Cloaks of Beards. Then you are going here. Tyrion, you are going to go into Channeling Stance, Let's Blessing, and you are going to take your units. Like so. Lose the ship's company, but these are high-level ship's company. We're not deleting them, we're transferring them. You're keeping your Silver Helms. I guess we're keeping the Bolt Throwers because we still don't have Siege Attacker out of anybody. Oh. Minus the problem. Okay, you lose the company of the Calendarian. So we have to either lose the Mage, well, not the Mage, either lose the Handmaiden, rather, or lose the Siege Attack Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. I guess lose the Handmaiden. I would like to replace you with the Lore Master and then put a something... Oh! Huh. Once the Fire Mage gets up here, if we keep her on a Fire Dragon, that will provide Siege Attacker for the army, which would mean we can put a Lore Master instead of the Handmaiden in this army. Or keep the Handmaiden and... yeah, but for now, we need the Siege Attacker more, so this is what we're doing. Like so. Tyrion, your army is complete for now. And just to double check, you don't have Siege Attacker. No. Say... if Bloodline of Anarion at least gave him Siege Attacker, I might have considered it a little bit harder. Just double checking that nothing in here definitely has Siege Attacker. Yeah, no dice. Just you. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough.
You
You.
best.
Deliver these to Sarah, or to another lord, but they will make the basis of a new army. Oh, actually, while we're here,
Peace and strength.
while Sarah won't necessarily be the one to lead them, the Athel Tamarha Faith Bearers. Now, these are special units, they're Mistwalkers, that are only available to Tori Vress. Since we're not confederating Tori Vress, however, I decided that we will use at least some of them. Not a lot, but we'll use maybe, you know, one set in each army, i.e. the Athel Tamarha Faith Bearers will be present in one army, the Skyhawks will be present in another army, and the Sentinels of Astral will be present in another, Spireguard in another, and I don't know if you have access to the Knights of Torgaval yet. Yeah, you can't even build them, but they will eventually, and when they do, we will get one of them as well. And the reason I wanted these guys here was because they are sword and board sword wielders, so they're basically more powerful ships companies, and the unit types will work nicely together. And in that light, I also think we probably will want to give you a war drum. Maybe 2 war drums. That'll make you have gold shield. You know, let's start with 2 war drums. It may come down to 1 eventually, but let's do this. It'll make the ship's company stronger with the additional armor as well, since they're rather weak. We may want a Mist Mage to hide the war drums from enemy range fire, unless we can get something to hide them, generally speaking, in another way. But I think it'll work reasonably well. And we'll see what else we can put in there. Anyway, we could always also use a couple of sea elementals to stand in front of the war drums to shield them from range fire. It's a strategy I've used before with those. Anyway, as in with the war drums. Alistar, we were going briefly to Griffin Wood to liberate it from Astrogoth and give it to Wood Elves. And then, after that, we are promptly planning to go and kill Belagar because of the Athel-Loren invasion. Also, once again, I'm pretty sure that if the Oak of Ages actually gets destroyed and the Weave collapses, the world ends, Belagar. That includes you, idiot. Anyway. The dwarfs may not know that. Anyway, Cadril, since these guys are not sallying out, you're sallying in. Go. Or Cadrilling in. No, that didn't work out. Alrighty, for Asuryan indeed, straight to the point. Here we go. These Skaven will defend the Star Tower here. Will they defend it well? I guess we're about to see. Let's just say that we gave the enemy a chance. We absolutely did. And anything that happens, I will no longer feel bad about. Anyway, we're going to start out by breaking down the enemy tower. We only have the single Exalted Eagleclaw Bolt Thrower, but with 6 artillery pieces to its name, it's pretty good. Though, I do want to point out that its reload time is at only 7.6. I guess it is... Oh, it's too far from both auras, from both the Princess and the Handmaiden. That would make it reload faster. Next time I position it, I gotta make sure to keep it close enough to everybody else. But anyway, now that the enemy tower has gone down, we're gonna start firing at the walls and create a breach there until we're ready to start moving our units through. We do have a ram that I still haven't decided on whether we need to use, since we can just breach the walls. And usually I don't really care for using a single hero to push a siege, any kind of siege equipment like this, because it feels cheap and shouldn't be the way that you do it, but I'm going to make the exception here. Just because I like the way that the ram looks, and I just kind of want to see it in action. The High Elves do have a really nice looking ram equipment, and ooh, looks like enemy artillery fire is going to come down upon us, but we've got Dragon's Breath for the Clan Rats to enjoy here. Moon Dragon Breath is going to absolutely demolish those 2 poor units of Clan Rats that were summoned for some reason outside the gate, perhaps to stop the ram from reaching it. Is that the enemy's idea here? I don't know. But the dragon had some fun. We do, however, take a little bit of damage from those Warp Lightning Cannons, as well as those darn Death Globes and such on top of the walls. Although they won't be atop there for too much longer, as a few more shots should bring this wall down. And what do we have here? And, ooh, looks like our handmaiden went close enough. Oh, she was firing at the, I want to say, Plague Priest up there? Or is that a Warlock Engineer? Not Warlock Engineer up there, and thus they took a few hits. Anyway, since those Warp Lightnings have decided to fire upon our flyers are going to move towards the Warp Lightnings. It's only fair. I was willing to advance our infantry under fire, but if they're going to focus down the flying units, we're not just going to hover there and take hits. That would be dumb. So yeah, enemy's going to be punished for this. Looks like 2 units of clan rats milling around down below, and if they want to stand on top of each other like this, we'll certainly punish them by hitting them using the Gem of Sunfire and activating that flame storm in their midst, doing a teensy bit of damage before closing the distance with the enemy artillery pieces, and there's plenty of water seepage by the looks of it in the enemy. I mean, you can see the drips coming down. And since there's so much water seepage, why not summon some Moshianids right in the midst of the enemy artillery crew? And thanks to their splash attacks, quite literally, the artillery crew have a little chance of survival. And frankly, we don't even really need the help of the dragon. The Ocean should be able to handle this just fine, as it'll be a bit before the Plague Monk, Sensor Bearers, and other units close the distance. In the meantime, while we have been doing that, we have moved up the rest of our units. Lothern Sea Guard Archers and Heavy Archers and Illyrian Reavers have made their way forward. And the ram is being pushed to the enemy door. And yes, we could have easily just destroyed the door with the artillery piece by now. Actually, a long time ago, I really just wanted to see the ram in action. It's just so rare that I get to see the elven rams. They're usually not necessary. And I like their look. Alright, here we go. The gate is about to start taking hits from that lovely ram. Bit of a shame that the ram model or unit gets destroyed when it destroys the gate. I don't know. That thing's a work of art. Why just blow it up? And a couple hits, and the wall shall fall. Down goes the gate, or the gate and the ram shall fall, but what can you do? I understand that the reason they did this is so that you can actually pass through the ram, pass your units through it. But it's the principle of the thing. Anyway, the arrow rain continues over the walls, and the bolt rain, I suppose, as well. Our flyers no longer need to be where the enemy artillery is, and it looks like we've cleared everything around the breach and are free to move into the enemy settlement. So, we'll speed this up a teensy bit and get everybody in here, unit by unit. And let's also not waste all the ammunition on one rat, please. Just, what are you doing? Alright, and it looks like, interestingly, the rats are actually backing off further and further into the enemy settlement. However, unfortunately for them, we get bonuses, or just like they do, for docking at the walls. So the range of the Exalted High Elven Archers goes from 190 or whatever it was, 180, up to 270, and the Exalted High Elven Archers with heavy arrowheads with base 220, which we will put on another wall, should be able to fire on anything in here. It's pretty disgusting. But hey, it's the rat's own fault for, rushing away instead of charging at us. Anyway, we've taken control of the bridge now, so the enemy are free to move towards us and attempt to cross it. I wouldn't advise it, but they're free to attempt it. There we go, in the ordered ranks of the Sea Guard, we'll fire upon them while the noble stands in front of the line, halberd at the ready in case anything big charges through. Though admittedly, I feel like, lore-wise, I wouldn't trust the Skaven bridge like this, because I think we all know that the Skaven would absolutely collapse this bridge at a moment's notice and kill everybody on it, or collapse the tunnel above us. It's fighting the Skaven. There's a reason the dwarfs have struggled with them for so long. But I digress. Clan rat, or one of the reasons anyway. Clan rats are being fired upon now, and more of our archer units are moving on top of the walls to take benefit of that extra range, up to 300 range on those exalted high elven archers with heavy arrowheads. Certainly not to the level of range of the enemy artillery, but we got 400 on plague claw catapults. It's pretty darn good. Anyway, ooh, it looks like a doom wheel has actually decided to close the distance. The warp lightning coming out of it will probably kill off a few sea guard. We have closed with our noble, who will whack away at it with his halberd. But it will do some damage, I'm sure. Probably should have just had the dragon land upon it, but the dragon was a little bit busy getting another breath off on, I don't know, clan rats or whatever other unit it hits. I suppose it doesn't matter much. All we know is that Kadril has fried 471 rats on her dragon here. Although, again, I'm thinking the dragon is probably temporary in this army. It depends. I'd like to do it in such a way that we have, you know, a lord on foot, a lord on horseback, a lord on dragon, a lord on griffin, a lord on eagle. And then we'll see. And then, obviously, a moon dragon, a star dragon, a sun dragon for the fire mage, etc, etc, etc. Make use of all the mounts. Anyway, what are we looking at here? The mount's power has shifted to about 85% in our favor now, and there's that Hell Pit Abomination, a completely doomed Hell Pit Abomination as we fire down upon it from the walls and have an absolutely ludicrous range on all of these units, and poor big boy is not escaping this. And plus, we've moved our Exalted Illyrian Reaver archers in here as well, so their anti-large arrows will help against the Abomination. Hell Pit Abomination, from what I recall in the Bretonnian campaign, was one of the biggest threats that we had to contend with. The only thing that reliably killed Grail Knights and Royal Hippogriff Knights and stuff like that. So we may as well bring it down to the humble arrows of the Elven archers. Well, nothing about elves is humble, but you know what I mean. The big boy falls. There is little left other than the units that are still hiding over on this side of the map. We're just going to have to keep making our way forward with more Lothern Sea Guard. I'm going to speed it up once again, but it's mostly just a matter of pin-cushioning what remains. And again, there is a reason I prefer field battles, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And ooh, looks like Storm Vermin and Clan Rats alike have made their way upward to fight the Exalted Archers with heavy arrowheads. Unfortunately for them, the Exalted variant of Archers are actually fairly decent with 47-49 melee attack and defense. They're still relatively low HP, but they have 110 armor, and it's going to be a while for the enemy to actually deal with them here. Actually, out of curiosity, the regular High Elven Archers that are still Exalted though, 60 armor, still Bronze Shield, Yeah, more than enough to hold back these Storm Vermin just for now, and while the Storm Vermin are blobbed up, 4 or 5 of our Archer units are firing upon them. We hit them with a Smathland Spite to dish out a little bit of extra damage, and then we heal up the Exalted High Elven Archers with Adriel's Shroud, who managed to only lose 3 units despite the arrows coming down upon them and the Storm Vermin hitting them. Very nice. And I suppose... Oh yeah, well, we do have regeneration on them in this army for now, plus Frenzy, so this was all helping them fight in melee quite a bit, plus the heavy armor and all that. Very nice, though. Decent little fight. I would have preferred the enemy try us on the field rather than hiding behind their walls, because they never had a chance here, but nonetheless, it is nice to see the elves absolutely dominate the rats. Alrighty, there we go. The poor rats get trounced, no problem at all. Look, I tried, guys. You know I tried. We didn't attack them immediately. We gave them the chance to sally out. I've been doing that a lot lately because, especially against a ranged focused army, they had no chance. Especially once those Exalted Archers and Heavy Archers took to the walls, which the docking bonus gave them a massive increase in range, such that their arrow fire was able to cover about about half of the enemy's settlement. At that point, the enemy were truly doomed. Plus, the temporary, at least until we get another Moondragon, another army, Moondragon that Cadril has is, well, doing a fair bit of work with those Moondragon breaths. So yeah, these guys, no chance whatsoever. As for our Lothern Seaguard, by 100 damage, unless somebody... well, by 100 damage, Ocean's Elven, again, fantastic name, beats Mathland Patrollers, but Tide's Piercing Reach gets 13,000 and beats the rest of them even more, so yeah. Anyway, we will occupy the place.
Order has arrived.
And Clan Spittle does destroy the Star Tower's ours. We did not get to get the free landmark, but it's not like we need the Farrier or the Warhol here, frankly. I don't know that we need the Temple of Asuryan here. We'll keep it for now because it gives us Phoenix capacity, and to be frank, Teclis is going to need Phoenixes.
My infinite knowledge is yours,
And he doesn't have the Phoenix building. And we don't have room to build the Phoenix building here in the Fortress of Dawn because it has 3 frickin' landmarks. We got the Great Waystone Colony. When's Magic Power Reserve? +5 per turn. Faction... Okay, that's actually very strong. Alright. And too bad this doesn't allow you to recruit Swords Masters. So we need the Mage Tower here. If we want Phoenixes, we need the Phoenix building here. Can we build the Phoenix building in Midas? No, we cannot. So yeah. But we're probably going to build the Fortress of Dawn, meaning we have no room unless we want to delete something else. We could temporarily delete the theater. Oh, we got the Eastern Bazaar here. Oh, that's actually great. The reason this is great is because it unlocks this, Eastern Trade Contracts, diplomatic relations with Cathay, and tradable resources produced. Oh, and we got gem setting as well. Oh, those are both great. What are we researching right now? Alright, fine. Let's finish Highborn Champions. We'll finish it, because it's very nice, and then we'll move to the other stuff. Yes, and then one of these as well. Though admittedly it's architectural unity that we really want. Actually, is it? Oh yes it is. Construction time minus 50% for all buildings. That'll speed matters along nicely everywhere, especially when we're not on Invocation of Asuryan. This is your brain on the Invocation of Asuryan. Anyway. I guess the only thing we could do here is delete the theater then, which is a shame. But I think we need to. Because if we want to build this... I mean, we can global recruit, I guess, and keep the theater. It's just going to bother me. No, but we need the Mage Tower. A Mage Tower has to be everywhere, and Mage Towers will take priority over those, so yeah. No dice. No dice. Keep the Farrier and the Elven Forge for now. They will help with the recruitment. I think we'll also make a new Lord to recruit here. A new Prince, a new Admin, or Princess. Somebody to act as an admin. Oh, we already got the free ones? Alright, fine, we'll do a prince then. Competent or elusive? Does it matter? It does not. Unless there's somebody here that would... No. Go for elusive. Like so. And you can be, first of all, off the mount. Second of all, renamed to admin. Like so. And then you can go 1, Region of the Kingdom, 2, Dedicated to Vol, 3, 4, Inspiring Presence and Route Marcher, Merchant Lord, Bonded Service, Draft Master, Elven Scholar, like so. Global Recruitment. We do not have access to Arcane Phoenixes yet. Teclis deserves 4 Phoenixes, I guess. We'll do Fire, Fire, Frost, Frost, and then we'll change the Fire, Fire to Arcane, Arcane later on, I think. Sure, it's so expensive, but there's not anything we can do about it. And we'll probably want at least a couple of Swords Masters in his army, although I think we'll also get some fancy magical stuff. Maybe fancy magical stuff from the human lands. Get him 2 Luminarchs from the Imperials. Wait, yeah, I like this. Golden Order. Do you have Luminarchs? Why are you useless? I never built the structures. Okay, wait, we need to build the outpost. Alright, what about you guys? What I wanted from the Cathans was... we not have it either? Those are the only 3 Cathan factions we have access to? Damn it. Oh. I wanted the, what are those things called? I'm blanking on it. The Astromancer thing. Or some Moonbirds, which would also fit nicely with the Phoenixes. Either way. And it would be nice to represent Teclis traveling the world and getting some human stuff with him. No guns, though, because freaking guns. Anyway, yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to wait. Alright, then it is critical that we go to... What the heck did I just do? It is critical that we go to outposts, so that we upgrade those outposts that are critical. Go figure. You're still alive, surprisingly. We'll upgrade this nonetheless. Nagaryth. Yeah, fine, whatever, upgraded. Knights of Calador. The only reason I'm upgrading the ones with the elves is just because it will make them less likely to die, and that's a good thing in my book. Oh, let's also build this at Schlantzek. Let us build this at... Shodel, I guess, is the good option. It's pretty safe. The other option would be to go for Oishul, but Shodel should have access to all their troops, so let's do that. Reichland. Anywhere where you already have access to Luminarchs. Luminarch? No. Luminarch? No. Bloodkeep? No. Luminarch? Luminarch, please. Please don't make me upgrade 2... or twice, rather. Yeah, no Luminarchs. Okay, well, screw you then. Talibai? No. I saw better upgrades elsewhere, so better unit line elsewhere here. Ubersreich it is. Actually, I probably would have chosen Ubersreich anyway. And I guess we'll just do Averheim. Ooh! I thought it was a railroad, but it was a wall. Which is still ooh, just not quite as ooh. And just to double check, Luminarchs. No dice. Alright, fine, Averheim. Alright, fair enough. And we've got no outposts with these guys. We can do an outpost in Torgavat. Oh, right, they randomly have this place. We could try. They'll most likely lose it to the rats, but we can try. And that's all the outposts with all of our allies built. Not all of them upgraded, mind you, but the ones that we haven't upgraded are A, not necessarily needed, and B, we still need money. That's still a thing. Alright, that was a lot of fighting and doing. Let's do another blurb. Ooh, blurb is next. Leoness! Did I read the Leoness already? I don't believe so. We read Jisoho because I remember talking about the Forest of Arden and Expite Pass and all of that. Yeah. Alright, the Kingdom of Lyonesse is a founding dukedom that lies upon the northwestern shores of Bretonnia. One of the larger dukedoms following the annexation of Mousillon several centuries earlier. Yeah, how's that going for you? The lands of Lyonesse are infamously known for their rivalry with not other Bretonnian realms, but amongst their own nobility, even in comparison to the other realms of Bretonnia. People blame the unusual geography, particularly the prevalence of excellent sites for fortifications, which deters rival dukedoms from waging war or feuds with the lords of Lyonesse. It is very difficult to utterly defeat a Leonin noble, so rivalries once started between other Leonin nobles tend to continue for decades, if not centuries. This has resulted in a division within the lands that can never truly perish. Without any true outside threat to unite the scheming Leonin lords together, it is said that Lyonesse will be plagued with disunion for the rest of their history. Its current ruler is Duke Adelard. In a way, Lyonesse is a microcosm for the entirety of the Order Tide. Unless something chaos is uniting everybody, they're gonna try to screw each other over. Anyway, Kevin. Right, okay, so Admin and Theus. You will pick up the 3 Exalted Silverin Guard. And I think that's it. Yes. Pick up the 3 Exalted Silverin Guard. Go here for a second. You have a noble that's supposed to travel with you, the Rushing noble, who is supposed to be on a chariot to lead the Athilmar chariots. And Arathond, since you're exhilarated, I think we're going to send you to Teclis. Regeneration, eh? I mean, that's nice for like a personal fighter. You know, I think I'm going to pick you up. We have a lot of capacity for these guys, and while this is only for you, it's still nice.
What do you seek?
Free regen is free regen. Not turning it down. Alright. I guess we'll send the first one of these to Teclis then instead of to Tyrion. A gift for, well, the Fire Mage gift that Teclis has effectively given us. Alright, away you go, Admin and Theus. You then, Kevin. Yeah, wait a second. Did I... Yes, I started recruiting on these guys, or all those guys.
Defender of the Everqueen.
You need to pick up all of this. And Exalted Shadow Warriors and the Swords Masters and Exalted Spears. And away we go, I believe. You can travel as well. You are going this way. To deliver them to 2 different lords. What are you recruiting next? We do have more capacity for Swords Masters. I wanted to give 2 northward to Sarah, and then 2 at least to Teclis, so that'll put us to 8 out of 8. So we can't build them unless we want to deliver them to Teclis. Funnily enough, we could build very high tier Phoenixes here for Teclis. How many turns would it take to deliver them to him here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turns just to make the delivery, as opposed to 3 turns to globally recruit at rank 2. Oh, but plus the turns it takes to recruit them. How many turns does it actually take to recruit them? One moment.
Your will is done.
It takes... Oh, didn't mean to build you. It takes 2 turns to recruit them, though again, at rank 7, it's pretty nice. Maybe we get Teclis a couple of sea elementals as well. No particular reason, I just figure they're also kind of magical, and he can have a lot of weird magical stuff. Plus, they share the traits with the swords. And I say, you know what? Maybe a couple of Oceanids then, not the sea elementals, because Teclis will already have a lot of single entities, and I hate single entity mobs. It makes me feel icky. Too much doom stackage. It's a word. Alrighty, let's do that then. All right, then. Wait, how many turns would it take you to build Swords Masters or recruit Swords Masters? 3. Yeah, you know what? Teclis can wait a few turns. It's not a big deal. It's only going to cost a couple of extra turns, and I'd rather have them at rank 7. Let's have you recruit. You will do. 2 Frostheart, 2 Flamespire, 2 Oceanids for him, plus 2 Swords Masters for Teclis. And I wanted 2 to be delivered to the north, but they might globally recruit because they're actually genuinely kind of far. Anything else for Teclis? We do have an Eagle Claw Bolter. I don't think we're going to give that to him. This is not, however, enough to make a full stack for him. We could give him a 3rd Swords Master. I feel like he should still have Swords Masters, just not in the same kind of numbers that that Billionaire should have, right? Any kind of exalted units that we want to give to him? Probably should have some kind of range. You know what? Give him a 3rd Swords Master for now, just because I want the recruit to be done. Recruitment to be done. And we'll see. He will need a greater melee line than just 3 Swords Masters and Oceanids as well, so we could probably pop something else in there, but let's give it a bit. Alrighty, now, you two, let's finish up both Unicorn Gate and Phoenix Gate. Here. And here. I assume you'll be able to tier 5 them both. And a 1. I assume we're not building this place yet. Nope. And a 2. And I guess next turn we will want to build up Krace at tier 4, so rebuild Lost Splendor, build this gate, and that's all the gates, right? Yeah. It'll take some time to build them. So we're proceeding to Torkar to upgrade it to tier 4. And then I guess booking it southward to... Wait, Torkarali is not there. Wait, what was I switching you to? Rebuild Lost Splendor, yeah, okay. Because you have a growth building. And then I guess we'll go to Elisele afterwards. So rebuild Lost Splendor. Alright, that means you two are traveling far as you can go. Which apparently was not very far. Alright, fair enough. Who's next? Arathond. Yes, indeedy. We've got Wulfric in Merge stance, and we've got Arathond in Murdery stance. Oh, that's all of his stances in a way. You, Noble. I'm gonna say Hero for the additional experience, just so we could get a retinue trainer. Not that we need it all that much here. You have Ladriel's Shroud maxed out because we spam it a lot. Next, I think... We don't really need Obscuring Haze for this particular army, so I'm going to say Flensinghar for you. Let's get Evasion. I don't know whether we'll be putting Mistress of the Deeps to too much use in this particular army, but you never know. Besides, we are getting... to make this an entire flying army, we need a ground lord, or ground mage, which is going to also be joining this army. Anyway, go for Monolith of Bjorkil Bloody Hand. It's Wolfrigging time. Pyrrhic victory.
Serving Ulthuan.
You two will, of course,
I
reinforce.
see the winds.
Go here.
Beyond
Okay, whatever. Go
possibility.
here, and hopefully you're not so in the way that you can't approach.
This is not noble.
You... Nah, you're fine. Do we need to level either of you?
Hi,
You both will probably need to be reset either way. Oh, you can go dedicated to Vol. You have, like, no spells. But you have the basics, so whatever. Dedication to Vol for Industry. You'll need to be reset once you're level
Princess
10 or
of the
12.
Azure.
For the Princess, it's at least 12. And the Princess, we don't actually need to apply points.
High
For
Elves.
Natalia, because she's a mage, it's... Oh, it was actually just rank 10 to get dedication to Vol, so we can disband you afterwards. Either way, we're fighting now. Yep.
Asuryan watches us from the heavens and sees our brilliant ranks of peerless warriors to victory!
Alright, wow, the trees are going nuts from the... end? Huh. Huh. Are they always shaking like that way? I just want... Just give me a second. Yeah. Huh. I never noticed that the wind actually shook the trees. I have like 10,000 hours in this game and I never noticed that. What the heck? That's quite interesting. That is quite interesting indeed. But obviously there's been other stuff that I've been focusing on to some degree. Anyway, here we go. We got Wulfric the Wanderer himself and quite the army arrayed against us with tons and tons of Marauder Hunters with javelins with a massive amount of anti-large bonus that they have on their javelin shots. These specialized monster hunters that the Norskins are going to be very much a danger to the type of army that Eataine has. Can't fly over them because he'll get pincushioned by javelins, and can't stay still because similar situation. And we'll see what we can do though. We're going to start the day off by irritating poor Wulfric the Wanderer, who is a nice sort of... what is the opposite of the phrase lead up? Follow up? Gonna go say, yeah, follow up. Follow up to fighting Amala's Darkblade for Eataine here. I like that he immediately goes in after some tough legendary lords, some very tough legendary lords. Anyway, while we focus down Wulfric with our single entity sniping, bolt thrower toting Lothern Skycutters, the others are going to focus down that Chimera, who is just gonna get kind of locked down, getting staggered by range fire until it's forced to back off. Wulfric's down at 10-15% of his HP already, and frankly, I would really prefer him not to activate that Ancient Frost Dragon scale on our infantry, who we are hiding. Why are we hiding them? Because with the enemy unable to see any infantry, it did not know where to move, as most of our flying units were just flying up there, so what could they do? Anyway, looks like, ooh, gonna take a little bit of damage on the Sky Hunters here as the Marauder Horsemen with the javelins arrive and start whacking away at them, or chucking their javelins at them, while the massive anti-large bonuses that Eataine himself has will allow him to tear that Chimera out of the sky. What are we at here, by the way? Oh, that's interesting. We lose the anti-large bonus. Never mind. That's curious, because the Sea Helms have a huge anti-large bonus on that Trident, but apparently if you put him on the Eagle, it just uses the anti-infantry bonus. That's a little bit disappointing. Not that it matters over much, because our lords are always still going to be pretty monstrous, but nonetheless. Anyway, unfortunately, it looks like some skin wolves have traveled through the woods and have found our Mist Mage, who is currently actually on foot, and thus surrounded him, meaning we need to bail him out by sending the Eagles down into the forests. And there are a lot of Berserkers moving in, 2 Berserker units, 2 units of Hounds of Pestilence, plus a Skinwolf Werekin to lead them, and just to try to help and kill that Mismage. But it does make sense, as he is currently our only caster. Although eventually we will want another caster in this army as well, because he can ride an eagle, but we'll want somebody on the ground. Anyway, Wulfric is down to 10% of his HP, maybe less, probably less, and escaping. Probably could have tried to chase him down, but we got busy with dealing with other stuff. Eataine has touched down, but is starting to take a fair bit of damage, just like his eagles are, to the massive amount of javelins flying towards him. All of those marauder hunters with javelins, all of those marauder horses are going to be a major threat to us. In that light, while we peel away 2 of our units of Silver and Garden spears to move to where Eataine and his eagles are fighting, we're going to start using our sky cutters like chariots rather than like missile chariots. So here we go. It's time to start repeatedly cycle charging through all the ranks of enemy infantry, swooping down upon them, sending them flying, dishing out damage, but most importantly, as we can see, preventing all of them from firing off another shot, as our eagles are down to 50% of their HP, and we can't have the enemy firing at them anymore. Up here, it does look like a Marauder Berserker unit has close to the Silver and Guard unit, which is actually kind of an interesting matchup. I would imagine the Marauder Berserkers, since they ramp up in damage over time, would win the battle in time. But obviously we can't have that, so we are going to move our newly arriving Archmage of Fire in, pop off a nice fireball to their rear ranks, which should significantly reduce their capabilities here. Oh, look at all those sky cutters amongst the enemy range formations. It's a beautiful sight. Our eagles, led by Eataine, do remain in the center of the fight, but it's still nice to see these sky cutters acting like chariots. And it's just a matter of time now as we distract the enemy units with the sky cutters. It allows the Silver and Guard or spears to close the distance with them, then cut down the enemy and make sure that they shatter, and then simply move on to the next. At the end of the day, it still means all of the enemy range units are tied up and unable to further really contribute to the fight. Granted, they are contributing by making sure that our units are not firing at them in range and are out of the fight themselves, but I think that's more than worthy, or worth our time. Anyway, those eagles of ours that take significant damage like this one, see, it still has 4 models remaining, but we withdrew it and the rest of these from the fight so that they did not lose any of their models and would recover to full, while keeping the rest of the units that are reasonably healthy fighting. And it looks like with that, the strategy pays off. The giant eagle blender manages to save the Mist Mage and kill the last of the enemy units. Here fall the last of the Brutes of the Hound, Marauder Berserkers Regiment of Renown. Packed apart and making a nice meal for Eataine's eagles. There we go. With that, the battle against Wulfric comes to a close, Wulfric never having contributed to the fight. And a very nice fight it was, so I'm sure he's sad that he messed up. Alrighty, there we go. A fight worthy of Eataine, if I should say so myself. The giant pile of Marauder hunters with javelins being anti-large makes it almost purpose-built to fight an army like Eataine's with so many large units, and those large units relatively fragile, as you have to be careful with eagles. Now, obviously, our eagles took a massive amount of damage during the fight, many of them, if not all of them, dropping between 20 and 50%, or 20 and 50% of their HP remaining, but we were very careful to allow them to fight, and then when they got low enough HP to withdraw from the main portion of the fight, so that they would recover and not lose models. This is also one of the very rare times where we use the Lothern Sky Cutters here, led by the Sky Hunters, as flying chariots rather than as essentially flying missile cavalry, which is what I have a tendency to generally do because, well, oftentimes them being fragile, it can be dangerous to get them to come down upon the enemy as chariots. But in this particular case, with the eagles bogged down, being led by Eataine in the main fight, we were better off using these sky cutters to sort of constantly charge the Marauder hunters with javelins and stop them from chucking those javelins at us. Strategy worked out very, very well. Also, rock, paper, scissors wise, I love it when we come up against armies that our own armies are not going to be particularly good against. And so this was very, very fun. We got 25k on the best performing Sky Cutters, and we got roughly 25k on the best performing Eagles as well. All told, very, very nice fight. And on top of that, Occupy. Defeated Wolfric is a reasonably nice trait. Don't care about the standard discipline. Arathon, no. No Sky Cutter. Eagle.
I feel empowered.
Great Eagle for Anoral. Hey, the nobles earned his Eagles. No Chariot. Eagle. Both of you. Natalia. Who is Natalia, and why does she have a steed? Oh, that's you. Yeah, this is fine. Whatever, I don't care. Yeah, this has gotten you to rank 12. We are not quite able to go to Ulthuan's first line, but that plus 15 armor is going to be real nice for those Eagles. We will go for Revered Tactician then, and the plus 5 melee defense to everybody around is going to be quite valuable. Then I guess we're going to start with an ending volley. Yeah, the upkeep reduction is nice, but the additional reload time will help the missile chariots out. And alright, I probably should have built Arathon. We were looking for, I guess, 8 of the Sky Cutters. We could do 6, because I did want room for Hawk Riders as well. Although 6 is going to kind of bother me. Maybe 7. I'll think about it. We'll see what we have room for. Oh, no, but we also need room for enough nobles. If we do 6, we could do at least a couple of Hawk Riders. And 3 nobles plus a mage. Why all the nobles? Just for the additional armor for the Eagles. It's quite valuable. Yeah. Also, I think that fight, that great performance, deserves some namification. You can be Flock. Well, I guess Flock kind of makes sense, like Flock of Razors. Like so. And the Sky Hunters here will be joined by the Helios Squadron. Like so. And how about one of you? And you can be Strato Snipers. Granted, we have a lot of other armies with Sky Cutters because they're pretty fun, but yeah. These guys are all, well, you at least are going to a different army. But that was probably not so good for poor old Wolfric. Alright. Now, I do believe we have another blurb on our hands. That was the Kingdom of Lyonesse. We should have the Frostheart Phoenixes now, since we're about to start using them in multiple armies. As a Flamespire Phoenix ages, its body cools and even begins to sap heat from its surroundings. Finally, the plumage that once blazed with fire grows heavy with frost and ice. Once this occurs, the Phoenix must leave the Flamespires, for the chill that surrounds it causes agony in its brightly burning kin. Most such Frostheart Phoenixes dwell in lonely exile on crags about the Eataine coast until their bodies finally freeze solid, to leave curious frozen statues along the crags and clifftops. Others return to the Shrine of Asuryan to offer their final days in service as war steeds. Whilst the Frostheart Phoenix may not possess the vigor and fire it commanded in its youth, it is a much hardier mount. The ice that sheathes its form is as hard as glass, and its enemies find their own strength and resolve eaten away by its chilly presence. Knowing they can no longer resurrect themselves in magical fire, the Frostheart Phoenixes fight even harder in the defense of their homeland, determined to end their existence, striking a final blow against the enemies of Ulthuan. I like it. I like it a lot. Poor Frostheart Phoenixes. Now we're just gonna have to get more of them on the field. Is that the last blurb is the question? I think it was. I swear we built more stuff, but apparently not. Alright, well. A good blurb it was. Well, let's see who's next. Movement-wise, I mean, yes, Annalise. Wait, no, not yes, Annalise. You're waiting here for one more turn for the arrival of the Sky Cutters. Plus to get Silak One Eye. Our first Mareworm. Westara, you, one more turn. You're right here. We should heal here, right? Yeah, we still have a little bit of that Invocation of Isha. And then we can delete this. Ingmir. I don't remember who you are. Oh, yes, I do. You're here. Yeah, you wait here, Ringmere. This is the other Ringmere. Zubaran. Ew, yes. Okay, so these guys have not taken their stuff. They're still alive. Nah. I still want them to have the Temple of Kamau. We want the City of Spires and the Elven Colony therein instead. And the Isle of the Monkey King. Although I don't like how the Thousand Kwashatna have that. But anyway, what we need here is some kind of troops in order to defend this. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be Zubaran that commands them. What we will be fighting here is Nurgle. What is good against Nurgle? Fire. You're a mage, right? You're a metal mage. Not that I dislike metal mages, mind you. Where are the lizards? Cult of Sotek? No. Ghost of Pawash. Oh, Nurgle. I have something for you. 2 ancient salamanders. 1, 2, 3. I wanted 4 regular salamanders. We'll go with that to start. We'll get a couple more phoenixes as soon as we have capacity, and here we could do a couple of dragons, but I don't want to waste the ridiculous amount of money right there. At least not yet. Frankly, it would be cheap. You know what, actually? Wait, I shouldn't have canceled those. Well, actually, maybe I should have. Wait. Trust me. Somewhat trust me. Do this again. I somewhat know what I'm doing. 1, 2... Actually, you know what? Start with these. Actually, no, these guys take 2 turns. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then I'll try to remember to build the 4th. Ooh, I want some Troglodons in an army. Why? I don't know. Maybe if we do something Vol-themed. we ironically use blind dinos in the Blind Gods army. Is that cruel? I don't know. But at the same time, Troglodons do have other senses, so yeah, not quite there. But nonetheless, anyway, what I wanted to do here was to get one of you guys to act as the recruiter so that, well, frankly, we're still probably going to replace you, but anyway, not one of these most likely. I guess we'll get this prince. Competent prince. I like so. And similarly, as usual, once again, you're going to go none. We're going to go rename to admin Jornadar. We will have you go Inspiring Presence, Regent of the Kingdom, dedicated to Vol, Root Marcher, Merchant Lord, Bonded Service, Draftsmaster, Elven Scholar. In here. Garrisoning indeed. And then use your slightly cheaper recruitment to... Where are the Sisters of Avalorn? Alright, 5 turns. 5! Wow. Would it be faster to... Huh. With... Oh, you don't have the construction cost reduction thing. Or the time reduction. You know what? Delete the plaza. It might actually be faster to just build a Blessed Grove here. Maybe not faster, but... Well, I don't know if it would be cheaper, though. Maybe it wouldn't. Alright, fine. Let's build at least a couple of Sisters of Avalorn. I don't want to go crazy here. 5 turns is a long time. And it's crazy expensive. Let's do 3 to start. And then you will be joined by a couple of Flamespire Phoenixes as soon as you're down to 3 turns. So then we can start building them so that you're both constructed at the same time. And we'll try to do a few other fire things in here as we go. Phoenix Guard technically don't do fire damage, but, well, I mean, we can have Phoenixes without Phoenix Guard. We don't always have to have them together. Come on. Anyway, Melinar, you're fine, at least until the Cornates inevitably attack us. And the buildings are being constructed. I just built that in Pilmar Smith. It's going to bother me if you don't. This, then. Oh, these guys are going after those Dark Elves. I was tempted to give Tor Helenar to one of these guys. We could actually give it to Nagaryth, can't we? Oh. But then these guys... Oh, man, how are we going to be friends with these stupid Dark Elves?
And you may escape with your life.
I am not sure. Oh, wow. Okay, what I am sure of, however, is that we are out of time. I wasn't even paying attention to the clock. Anyway, then, in that light, I think I'm going to call this particular episode here. My bad. And we'll start anew. Next time, the turn is nearly over, so we'll end the turn and most likely have some fights up ahead. I'll move the influencers because it's a waste of time between the episodes, and then we got more stuff to do. We are at... wait. Oh, we got the Nagareath patronage as well for a different quadrille, but it is a patronage that we want, but it is for actually just so that... Oh, we can only switch it once per turn, can't we? Yeah. Alright, but we'll want to switch the Nagareath patronage. We also got the Kalidor patronage, which we also want to switch, though nobody yet has dragon princes or dragons. Wallbreaker for dragons. That's quite interesting. Doesn't actually buff them really though, but I do like the magic item drop chance. And then Teclis is an Illyrian. This is actually going to be a different lord. We're going to have to transfer so much patronage. That's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. It just has to be done. Just have to remember that I have to do that once per turn. Anyway, we will deal with that. The confederations are done for the rest of the campaign, and the amount of territory that we will continue taking is also probably going to be relatively limited, as we're almost, or very close to the point where... Oh, I gotta remember to trade these two for these two. Or these two, rather. Yeah. Anyway, going to start giving a decent amount of territory to our allies, with the obvious exception of landmark territories like those in the Dark Elf territories, and we're still having a lot of fun fighting the Dark Elves with these guys. Plus, this army is about to be completed. Also, Tyrion, once we're done with Malekith up here, once you have dueled both Crone, Hellebrand, and Valkia, I would like you to move to duel with Malice, to duel with Sigvald, to defeat the Demon Prince, maybe, well, you have already defeated Wulfric, but maybe take on Throg, Arbal, Archaon, Kolek, Tamarkan, just path of destruction all the way like this, or maybe like this, to where the fighting is thickest. Tyrion will start on that journey there. We could start him out here into the Badlands, but I think there's a lot more interesting defeat traits and interesting duels to be had up here, so that's probably what we're going to do. Of course, as long as, you know, interest in the campaign remains, and frankly, we still have a lot to do. We are so far only in our corner of the world. There's a lot of giant piles of powerful enemies in several other far reaches of the world, so we shall hopefully reach them as we go. Stay tuned for more Tyrion. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. Oh wow, Erengrad looks lovely. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.